بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك يا رب الكريم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته, everybody, brothers and sisters, elders, aunties and uncles, more of those than we had predicted. And folks that know me, folks that don't know me, welcome to everybody here. In response to all the folks that have given salam in the comment section, big shout out to all you folks. A shout out to Jamila, who I can just see, who's just one of my peoples. There's so many of my peoples here, and then future peoples as well. And as Q has said, let's do this. Hajj 2023. Right, folks, here's the plan. Tonight, inshallah, which is still the morning Californian time, we have folks from all over the place. So obviously we have Canadians as part of this plan. Unfortunately, I couldn't see my Canadians home this year, and those that decided to stay behind, then inshallah I will be making huge moves to include them next year for those that are deciding to wait, meaning fundamental changes to my structure, put it that way. I feel kind of, that's very heavy actually on me. However, a number of you are still going, and that's why you are part of this video as well, joining in, and for at least these public aspects, because over there it'd be very difficult to be part of anything, but at least beforehand our group can be together in these sessions at the very least. So the Canadians that are going with Al Bayt in general, specifically with Ikhlas and other folks, then welcome to you folks. I know that it's like, midday, 1-2 o'clock there. Calgary obviously in the morning. Californian folks and the rest of the Yanks that are across the states, then over there they're between 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock, and of course back in the UK we are here in the evening. So I want to welcome all of you. I want to basically give an outline of what we're doing today. Today we're going to speak a brief reminder for everybody, to benefit everybody, especially those that aren't interested in hanging around, or those that don't really need the logistical kind of side. And so for you folks, just a quick kind of the major tip that will make or break your Hajj, basically. I just want to speak about that for a few minutes. Then I'm going to discuss logistics, two parts. The first part of the logistics will be for those that still haven't been able to sign on to the package, just sharing a few ideas and so on. And then the second part will be logistics for the AE group in particular that need to be planned for and prepared. And then we'll do some Q&A at the end. So hold your Qs at the moment. Hold your, not P's and Q's, because you're all polite, mashallah. I mean, hold your questions for the time being. Let me get through this kind of major part. And I know where I want to start. Actually, I know exactly where I want to start. It starts with speaking about this last part that I just said about the AE group, about me, about us. I want to tell you about my biggest challenge this year. The biggest challenge this year will be the unpredictability, not knowing what's going to happen in a system that we have honed down so perfectly as a program. You guys already have seen I'm a control freak, right? I don't have OCD, but I'm very OCD when it comes to my groups. Those folks that have been with me on programs, have studied with me in logical progression or Al-Maghrib, and you guys know that I like to have control. Within that sphere of control, we're pretty flexible, but I just need to have control. And control freaks, when they lose control, then it's all over for them. So it is a really interesting situation that we're put in. And I find myself in a unique scenario in that I have folks in this program that have absolutely not a Scooby-Doo of who I am. In fact, not only do they not have a Scooby-Doo of who I am, they don't understand why I'm speaking about Scooby-Doo. They're that outside of my cultural reference circle, outside of my own personal circle. That is how far away folks are. There are parents that folks have just like said, oh, you know what, we're gonna dump you in that program. They're not even accompanying their parents and just said, tawakkal Allah. I've seen Arabic there, I've seen Urdu there, I've seen whatever there, so go with these folks and I'm sure that they're gonna look after you. It's gonna be a challenge, right? Why? Because I'm used to being in a program where everybody that wants to go is going and has let me know well in advance. And so we're filtering those kind of folks out according to the conditions that I normally put. But Hajj has changed forever. Nusuk has changed that. The new system has changed that. And there's no point crying over it. It's time to embrace it. There are strong points, there are weak points, and I do believe that it will get better. And there's obviously limitations to the kind of things that I can say on a recorded thingamajig, right? Anyway, so I want to tell you, and it is important. I have a great difficulty. Those who are teachers or lecturers will appreciate this point. When you're speaking to when you're a teacher, you're either teaching in an academic circle or in a general circle. So I do both. When I'm teaching in an academic circle, it's not a problem. Why? Because the audience is controlled. And if you are not up to standard, that's your problem. Nobody then puts it upon me, right? The problem is when you're speaking to a general audience, especially when you're giving a talk in a university or in a university lecture hall or some kind of paid event of some sort. The nightmare for the lecturer is what? When they get told by the organizer 5 minutes beforehand, listen, there's a couple of non-Muslims that are a part of the audience, and you know what, they're thinking about, you know, they're close and they're looking for a bit of XYZ, or you know what, there's a couple of non-Muslims here, or there's a couple of people from the university that are here to check that you stick to, you know, LGBTQ Bakwasian standards or something like that, right? The worst thing in the world, because immediately what you wanted to say and what you wanted to you know, the passion, the direction, the sincerity of what you are focusing on now has to be tempered somewhat in order to account for a tiny minority, and it affects everything. It not only affects your delivery, it affects your content, it affects your focus. It's a nightmare. And after a number of years, you do get better. I mean, even when you don't get that bad a news, speaking to a general audience, there are different levels of people. And so you've got to keep, you know, entertaining the folks that have zero connection to Islamic knowledge and just there for a good time, educating those that clearly need it and are basic, and keeping the attention of those folks who are your advanced students of knowledge, who are there because you are their teacher and they're expecting some intellectual stimulation and proper deep. And so to keep going up, down, up, it's the biggest challenge. And of course, the best teachers have enough experience to pull it off, but it's tough. The irony is that I am now in that situation right now, in that I'm not speaking to my group as I normally would be, right? So the AE group, as I said, is a very defined group of people who are very well prepared or have been told to get very well prepared for a length of prep and study and a number of objectives way above and beyond the Hajj. So the mindset is entirely different. I have three groups of people. I have a second group of people who aren't even going to be part of my program, and they're just hoping to try to glean a few tips, etc., etc. And how difficult it is going to be that I'm going to be speaking. I'm going to say, right, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But the people who are listening are realizing, but we are not going to do this and we're not going to do that. So I'm having to be conscious of that. And then the third group of people are those that are actually part of the AE program, and genuinely they've been messaging me saying, you know what, I've got no idea who you are, and I hope they're going to look after me. I hope that you can do this. Can I change my coach to a train? Brother, I'm willing. I'm consultant so and so, and I want to upgrade to a double. I'm like, what the fish is going on here? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I've got to try to account for these folks as well, and I need to. And I've decided long time ago in lecturing that you've got to take one audience and stick to it. It's like taking a penalty. If anyone's into sports and you know that you're into football, and I used to be a striker back in my day, the golden rule as a striker when you're taking a penalty, never change your mind. But when you're coming up with the ball, you know exactly where you're going to hit it, and don't change. Don't look at the goalkeeper and let him put you off. His job is to keep doing this and keep going to the left-hand side to make you go that way. Then he's going to go this way, all to put you off, because he knows that your golden rule is now in doubt. You're now double thinking your own golden rule. And the people who win are those who stick to their rules and principles. And if you know that I'm going left, I'm going top corner, I'm not changing, I don't care if he's standing there, I don't care if he's 10 foot tall and he's got that corner covered, I'm still going that corner, you're going to be the most successful at your game. I learned after a long time, forget those converts, forget those two non-Muslims in the audience, forget those XYZs, right? I'm focusing on my main audience. And so I want to say right now, with all of my love and respect to all the people that are not part of the AE group and those that have no idea who I am and don't care for who I am and not interested, just want to do Hajj, my whole presentation, whilst taking account as much as I possibly can within my human capability of the various groups that are listening to this, my responsibility is to my students of the AE group. When I say my students, I don't mean those that have studied with me. I mean those that have joined this AE group with an objective. And you're going to see some forms coming out, and you're going to see some exercises coming out that's going to really test what your objective is, right? Because this is a program. This is a tarbiyah program. So now I will speak to that audience. I want everybody else to make themselves become part of that audience. And I start by telling you who I am. I am not. I tell you who I am by telling you who I'm not. I'm not a Hajj agent. I'm not a business. I'm not a company. None of the people who are part of my team are any of these people whatsoever. We have an agenda. It is not a conspiracy theory and a hidden agenda. It's a very clear and open agenda. We have found in our experience as Islamic workers and teachers, and my team are entirely that. They are all working in the da'wah or teaching that da'wah. So they are either volunteers in support of teachers or they are teachers themselves. We have female Quran teachers, one imam, some of the most experienced people in da'wah that I know, those that run chapters of Al-Maghrib, previous emirs. They're all A-list people, alpha in everything that they do. Very specifically chosen. Ages as well. Age range, gender range, everything. Because they are very good at what they do. You know what none of us are good at is being Hajj agents, commercial agents, selling things, whatever. Or what. We have no financial, political, X, Y, Z in any kind of way. If you don't believe me, go and type Hajj with AE. Go and type Abu Isa. We don't have an address or an X or a Y, nothing. We just piggyback onto an agent, whoever it is, whoever is willing to give us our opportunity for us to fulfill our agenda. What is our agenda? To prove to the people that join us in our programs that you can be better, that you have a potential that you have to live up to because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you for it. You just don't know it. You will be held accountable for it. And so it's better that you do know it. And that comes through social proof. It comes through living a process as opposed to just going through a process. What we found in our experience over the last 25 years is that when you gather students together in a retreat site type setting, a weekend away in the woods, a day course in a masjid, a weekend seminar in a university, a week Islamic trip to Turkey, an Umrah program for 10 days, a 5-day intensive Quran program in Aqsa, a Tarbiyah program in Hajj. We found that all of these are just vessels of developing people whilst getting something else done as well. So even when you're in the masjid for a 1-day study course, you are focusing on a chapter of fiqh and you achieve it. Or when you go to the Hajj and you fulfilled the big obligation, you achieve it. Or you go to Aqsa where there is no pilgrimage other than to pray in the masjid and you get 250 times reward for every prayer that you do, you achieve it. We want to at the same time load and load and load, overload, like nusuk overload, right? Okay, we're gonna start to award points for all the people who can use nusuk as a verb, as a noun in everyday language, because you know it's entered now into the history books. Now it's going to become part of our cultural referencing, yani vernacular, right? So we are going to overload people with so much benefit. They came for one thing and they took 25. I'm going to show to you the importance of a suhbah, of companionship. I'm going to prove to you the importance of generosity of spirit. I'm going to show to you that patience is not just, oh, I've got to wait in an immigration queue. My parents told me about that because they went to Hajj and they said, you know what it is all about Hajj. The only thing they told me about Hajj was the waiting. So I'm ready. I've got all, and you know, you see these lectures and these kind of books that took you, they present their Hajj seminars in clever, modern, nuanced life coaching ways. They say you need a bag of patience, and you got to use a bag of patience here, and you got to pay a bag of patience there. And you know, it's great. All these kind of things that people, I don't know, contextualize the challenge by, right? And that's fine. That's whatever works for you. My job is to show to you that patience is far more a commodity and an asset that you need to develop, bigger and beyond than just being stuck in a queue for immigration, which you're looking at and thinking, goodness gracious, couldn't they put more people on, or couldn't they do this more, or blah blah blah. Or when you come to the hotel and you realize that, you know what, check-in doesn't actually mean check-in. Check-in means sit here now for 7 hours, and if we give you a key, then see yourself as very fortunate that you've actually been checked in this whole 24-hour period, 17 hours after what time you should have actually checked in. Actually, you're going to realize that patience is more than that as well. You're going to realize that when you're with other people and you have the ability to be able to ferment together ideas and develop the art of debate and getting questions ready, and then have those questions answered in an environment of not just knowledge but practicality. Because when you're outside of your home, a number of different things that you are faced with that then become real. For example, all of the fiqh that you read in theory that you didn't think ever were going to be practiced in a normative way, such as the concept, the Prophet ﷺ, he made a wudu with just this much water. You probably read that at some point in your life, reading Hadith Bukhari or reading XYZ. Well, guess what? You're going to now be practicing that, and I'm going to teach you that. I'm going to make everybody do it in our seminar and check you all off, and then say, now you're ready to completely smash Arafah, Muzdalifah. I'm going to show all of those folks that are in a real state of anxiety right now. Like, there are people that are having different problems. The simple fact that they realize that they haven't been able to get a private room is killing them. The idea that I'm going to be, for the first time, not in a single room, in complete control of my environment, is the single biggest problem for them in this Hajj. And if we were to come back and offer this problem to the rest of the world, it wouldn't just be embarrassing, hashtag first world problems. This would be embarrassing to a whole different level, to think that we have allowed ourselves to become hostage to these certain realities. And I'm not belittling in any way a person's physical problems, health problems, even psychological problems. But you need to realize that this is a classic opportunity for people to come out of their box. Their box, whether that is a box that has been created by their own experiences, by their understanding of the deen. And these fundamental mind shift changes is what I'm looking for. Why? Because, as I said, the agenda is not the Hajj. Guys, if you want to go to Hajj, there are so many other ways to go. And that's the great thing about Nusuk. Let me tell you something. I'm not actually a hater of Nusuk. I mean, obviously, I understand the catastrophe that's happened to everybody. Obviously. But if you were to think, minus all of the clearly, mashups that weren't predicted or planned or whatever, right? Nusuk, if it was working perfectly, like a normal booking.com, the ability to go and choose this, choose that, don't want this, don't want flights, want to fly in from XYZ country, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't want transport. I don't want I've got a friend, he's got a car. I don't want to stay in a hotel. My mate's got an apartment. They're working there, blah, blah, blah. I've already done Hajj, and this one is just a quick one for my mother-in-law or whatever. It gives you that opportunity. Like, the theory is great. Obviously, in practice, it's not proving to be that. But the point I'm trying to get to is that to get the actual Hajj done, as you're going to see in this seminar, right, a webinar, is a piece of cake, actually. It really is. So then you might think, why the fish are we going for 20 days? Do you know how much of a pain it is to work out for my kids, childcare, to get the time off, XYZ, blah, blah, blah? Do you realize, by the way, that if you're going for 14 days, people choosing 12-day packages, 14-day packages, well, then you could even say the same about them, because Hajj is only 5 days. And even technically, you could do it less than that. But 5 days is the actual days of Hajj. So if there are people here that really just want to get the Hajj done, I want to say to you, there are so many other ways of doing that, right? For a lot cheaper, for a lot easier. This program, it's not about the Hajj. If you thought that this is a program that's just about getting the Hajj done, you are in the wrong program, bro. And like I said to quite a few people that are brand new to this, right? Like, I don't know what you guys are signed up for. You are clearly folks that are just desperate, click, anything, anywhere. Just send me a link and I want to get in. So I just want you to know that, no, our focus is on actual change, actual real change. We all know from our cultural understanding of the people who go to Hajj, right, that they are meant to change. And a lot of people are afraid of that change, which is why they push it back to as far back as possible, as late as possible in their lives, and they go when they're elderly. The great thing over the last 10 years has been the revolution in Hajj. And alhamdulillah, a lot of the scholars in the West have played a major part in that, encouraging their young students to make them realize that Hajj is not meant to be some kind of, a switch goes on and you're suddenly changed, and it's not something to be scared of. It's not something to be put, but rather this is a fundamental key obligation that is an act of ibadah that, guess what, is not as bad as everybody else is making it out to be, is not as such a torture and a terror. Everything that you hear, having to share a toilet, having to share in Mina. Yeah, here's the thing. There are people out there paying $20,000, $30,000 going for VIP tents and non-shifting and 10 days, businessmen in, out, only staying, whatever. And then they're going to realize that you can pay as much as you want, bro. You still have to go and take a number 1, number 2 in Muzdalifah, in a hole in the middle of the desert with a queue of 15 people. You and your millions can't escape that. You and your millions can't prevent people banging on the door whilst you just sit and put and it's just sat down, and people are banging, absolutely desperate to go. It is my job to educate you on that. It is my job to put that into perspective. It's my job to prepare you. This Tarbiyah program and its fundamental aspect, its crown jewels, is the base camp, right? So we're going to have a number of seminars here online, and they're going to be super focused. Like this one's a logistics thing. This is an overview, right? Then we're going to have a big Umrah one, right? We're going to have a Q&A session in a week's time. I'll go through these dates in a minute. Then we have the big one on June 4th, I think, right? Team will confirm that. And even in that one, super focused on the Umrah, not even going anywhere close to Hajj. Not even getting close to the ahkam of Hajj. You know why? Because we are gonna lock ourselves down, close the doors, and go into an intense study retreat. Those that have been on the hajjwithae.com/experience part of the website will have seen the videos on the Hajj section, will have seen the videos about base camp and the kind of things that we do all together, people studying in an environment where everybody is super focused, revising of du'as, revising of the revision of mindset, the kind of a switch that we need in thinking to understand how we actually perform these acts and how we embrace the challenges that are going to be coming, being fully aware of every single moment that we move from this place to that place. Because to my immense cost, by the way, as I've said to you guys earlier in the groups and on emails, provide way too much information. And that is because I, being on the other side, would only want it that way. I don't like folks keeping things from me. It doesn't matter about intention. It doesn't matter if they're good intended or not well intended. I want to know, because I'm a control freak. I want to know everything, and then I will let them make that decision. I don't want other people to make that decision for me. But if, of course, we're in an Amir situation where there's a leader and they make that, I'm okay with that. But I like to be informed, and that's just my nature. And I have this silly belief, this stupid belief that everybody else does, right? Years of practice in the game have actually made me realize that, you know what, I've overestimated the people. That a lot of people don't want to know all the options. They just want to know what to do. And that's okay. And that's what this program will also offer. Because a couple of people are concerned. A couple of new folks are concerned. And let me just make sure that you hear this message loud and clear from me. There is no single person that is going to be extra advantaged by just joining the program now than those that are have been preparing from before. Don't judge your preparation on other people. All right. So for those folks that, like I said, are watching this and don't know who I am and have joined first time and are getting a bit, anxious that, oh my God, these people know what's going on and they've been preparing and planning. Don't judge yourself by them. There are people here that have been planning for 10 years and saving the money. And I'm not making it up as rhetoric. They've told me we made the decision to go with you 10 years ago, and we haven't had the money, and we've been saving. These are still people who I'm in contact with for the last 10 years. So of course they come up to me regularly, and they say, what are the kind of things that I'll be needing, in the future when I'm going to Hajj? And I'm saying, right, this level of Arabic, this level of dua. Are you going to compare yourself to that person's preparation of 10 years? Okay, you're saying that's an outlier. Okay, forget that person. What about the people, the majority of this group that are meant to go to Hajj with me in 2020? They weren't allowed to go 2020. They weren't allowed to go in 2021. 2022, as we say in Pukhto, Panisha Hisab. Yani, that's like, nobody went in that one as well because that was what it was, right? So this is now the 4th year or whatever it is, that the people who have been preparing, not for any reason of their intention of their own, you can't compare yourself to them, right? So also, they've been preparing everything for the last 3-4 years. They've been seeing life, world change around them, their personal circumstances. They've seen du'as they've made, du'as failed and du'as succeeded, and they've now put that into their whole portfolio as well. People that were going to Hajj back 4 years ago had a certain intention, going out there, making immense du'a for a pious wife, a pious husband, children. They've got that husband, they've got that wife, they've got that children, right? What's the Hajj going to be about now? We have to change, shift. Never compare your own Hajj reality to someone else's. My job is to make sure your Hajj is going to be as best as it can be, and I will do that. When we're making the decision on the final number of people to take in this group, I had to sit and do the calculations with my team. What would be the critical mass that I can handle or can't handle? And what would I need to do to be able to pull it off? And this is the mass, this 400, and it'll be probably a bit under when all this kind of cancellation stuff happens. And this team is the team that will make me do it. And these systems are the ones that will allow it to happen. And if you don't play ball, you won't then be part of the program. It's as simple as that. If you don't buy in to fill in this form, do this survey, keep to this email, respond to this email, don't respond to this email, reply to me only, reply all. Every single move has a function in mind. If I say to you guys, don't do this, do that, it's because as part of the wider agenda, it's going to lead to success. It's not because I want to encroach on your opinion. It's not because I want to shut you down. It's not because I want to make sure that this system allows for you to be fully educated, fully aware, and fully empowered. Therefore, you will only then need me for your personal, exact, specific needs, and I will have time to address those, because the vast majority have had their general needs and the important needs fulfilled because they stuck to the rules, they stuck to the system. Ultimately, folks, you're just going to have to trust me. Now, if you don't know me, that's going to be tough. So you're having to take a leap of faith. Those folks who have the ability to just go on the internet, or family, I have a 25-year record in this game. All right, and I have all of the years of people, and you can't control people. Go back and read what they've written in testimonials, in reviews. It's all there, right? Go and ask those that have been. They're not going to lie to you. I will do my part as long as you trust me and follow my instructions. So I want to say that preparation beforehand is overrated. People think I've got to do this, got to do that, got to. Nowadays, it's just one email. So you're going to be receiving some emails tonight, okay? And obviously, and I am trying to keep some kind of structure in this program because I do want to end with the specific logistics at the end. But you are going to receive some emails tonight or tomorrow, which are the kind of things that you need to be focusing on now in terms of prep, in terms of purchasing, and in terms of physical, and in terms of footwear, and in terms of items that you're going to be taking, and other emails that I'm not going to be sending right now. And that's because we have to create an artificial version of my full Hajj Tarbiyah program. I want you to know that in normal years, last 10 years, the Hajj program is, we've never, ever, ever in history advertised this program. Now, there's a reason for that, because we cannot risk taking on people that are not willing to follow the process. I hope you understand that. That's no slight on anybody. It's simply because we cannot afford for renegades to come in and say, "Who are you?" Right? Or, with all due respect to you, sir, you know what it is? You need to go to another program. No disrespect to you either, but it's not going to work, right? This is a very well-oiled machine that runs very, very smooth as long as you only put diesel in it. You start putting petrol into it, it's going to completely blow up. So this system of trust is fundamental. It's fundamental. And so when I tell you that that our program is not advertised to folks, they apply I then, with the team, make investigations to see that they have had some previous connections, that I can trust their statement when they're saying, no, we really want to go with you and we know what we're letting ourselves in for and we're happy. Then I say, right, okay, these are people are good. But other folks that are like, so listen, we want to know that we want to stay in this hotel and that hotel. And I completely respect your right that you want to go and you're spending 20 grand or 50 grand or 10 grand, whatever it is, and that you want this, you want that, you want it. Bro, I'm not a Hajj agent. I want to go for 14 days. I want to go for 12 days. Bro, there's so many. This is one program. Every single person, the entire group from whatever country they're coming from, whatever their level, one program. From the very beginning to the very end. That's the only way it can work. The only way that I can be emotionally invested in this program and with you is that I have to be there from the beginning to the end. Do you know how the agents, from a financial point of view, how desperate they are for me to do like what a Islamic kind of normal Islamic figure would do, like a Yasser or an X or a Y, which is to have a number of different programs, a 10-day, a 12-day, a 14-day, 20-day, and be the overall sheikh on it, be the overall imam on it. So go and give a lecture to them on Tuesday, and then them on the Wednesday, and then go do them on the Thursday, and then on Arafah you go and split yourself between the camps, and then you keep everybody happy with a little half an hour, sit down, roll in, and then roll out. Okay, can't do it. That's not my game. I'm not interested in making people happy for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm here to give as sincere and as genuine a support and companionship to prove to you why you, after the Hajj, now need to start studying with me, studying elsewhere, taking your deen to the next level. And the only way that's going to happen is when you see what it does when a person envelops and goes in. I don't need to buy my package. I didn't need to go through your credit cards and getting rejected. I didn't have the Monzo problems or the Revolut problems. I didn't know about a Chase card. I don't have one. I don't have an unlimited thing. I don't have a bank transfer. I didn't need to transfer one. I didn't need to transfer two payments. I didn't need to pay 30 riyals, 60 riyals, 100 riyals. I didn't know about cash transfers or Malik's cash and carry or them paying or charging VAT or whatever. But I've got to know because I need to know. I need to know everybody's sadness, anger, desperation. I need to know and feel everybody's sleeplessness and anxiety. I need to live through it. I need to feel it. I need to see people's happiness. I need to have all of that with me so that when I go out there, I can also let out my happiness and my anger and my sadness. That I can interact with you folks and make you live this experience as human beings and not as robots. I want to go and enjoy my Hajj experience as well. That's the revolution that's occurred in the last 10 years. That people are now not just having this get it over and done with, which is what the majority of people who are desperately choosing any package and they're looking for the quickest one, the shortest one, and I'll pay whatever it takes, get it over and done with, get it over and done with, nightmare, get it over and done with. What you have to do is to be strong. We are not get it over and done with people. We are not thinking that the Hajj is a nightmare. We are telling you right now, this Hajj is going to be the greatest experience of your life. And I will ensure that or die trying. I will ensure that or die trying bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Okay? And it's not going to be in providing some, salmon served with lobster at Arafah. And it's not going to be me turning around and say, surprise, we got a upgrade in our Mina tents from 200 people sharing a tent to 100. Yay! Bro. It's going to be because you will realize and learn things about yourself that are going to be, you're going to be like, right, you know what it is? This makes sense. I didn't realize that I could do this. And now I realize why I'm meant to do this. You're going to be seeing things from entirely different perspectives. You're going to discover yourself. And for me to do that to you, you have to allow yourself to be broken down. Well, I'm going to break every single person down to a core and then allow the environment then to build a new version of you. You can't plaster a mash-up wall. Anybody knows that when you're going into a house, you've got to knock down the old plaster. They say, take it to the brick. You heard that? Anybody who's involved in home renovation, take it to the brick so that I can put the proper plaster. I don't want a plasterboard. I don't want plasters, right? I want it to go proper, put the full paste on, and then you put a finish on. I want a solid wall all the way through. That's the aim of this program. Now, I hope that all of you new folks, and I say that with this wishful thinking because the way I understand it is that it's probably the new folks' sons and daughters that are hearing this in English and now going to translate for their parents that they've just dumped in the program, that I'm going to be taking your parents on a ride that you're going to regret not joining. You should have joined your parents. whatever you have, your vision and idea of, you know what, my mum and dad need to go and do Hajj, is just going to choose someone to go with, okay? Get it over and done with. Get it over and done with. Your parents are going to come back and they're going to say, you know what, you lost out. You sucker, man. You lost out. You should have come. That's what's going to happen. Even though they can't speak English and I can't speak Bengali, we're going to still make it happen. Right. So that's the first part. My message, my reminder, and then some logistical advice for those that are still trying, and then logistical facts for everybody that's definitely got their visa, on their visa parts. They've gone past all of the payments and they've just submitted their visa. I want to say to you that the fiqh of Hajj is actually really straightforward. I also want to say to you that everybody here, not the AE program, everybody here, Al-Bayt themselves are like a single kind of unit, right? I want to make it clear that even though I maintain a very kind of closed identity for AE, and listen, I will apologize in advance to the wider group. I cannot give you the full AE experience. And I don't think you'd be silly enough to expect that either. And it's not because you didn't purchase my program. You're not purchasing nothing from me, right? You're not getting anything. You're not getting... I've got nothing to benefit or not from this, yes? But it's a program that it is intrinsically linked to company, location, movements, capacity of beds. So over there, you won't be part of the program, and even here there'll be certain forms and things that they'll be submitting that are going to allow them to get a much more personal experience. But there are certainly still some generic things, of course, that the rest of you can benefit from. So just so that you know, possibly May 28th or June 4th, it is what I heard from Abdurrahman al-Hilbawi, who's of course like that key figure in Al-Bayt, or the one that we can relate to, I guess, at least, was suggesting that could be tentative kind of steps for a big Umrah stroke Hajj webinar where the fiqh will be covered or whatever. I very likely won't be part of that, just from a time kind of point of view, but also because I have a educational approach to this program. But I think that all of you should attend. Why not? Okay? Because actually you can't do too much now preparation for Hajj, which is happening in 4 weeks time. You can't, right? Everybody will be able to go and buy resource after resource. There's so many books out there. For years, a standard has been getting the best out of Hajj, which is by Abu Munir Ismail Davids, I think his name is, yeah. And you just type that, getting the best out of Hajj. Buy that. It's been updated, and it's an English book, and it's good enough. But it's good enough for people who don't want to study, never have studied, don't take the fiqh to a deep level, etc., etc. It's a desperate move for people that just want to, do anything. You'll be able to go onto PDF and download, I will be sharing actually some resources, but in its right time, okay, of some good English fiqh that even we will be using in our classes in base camp, which of course will only be for those who are part of the AE program because of space. So I don't want people to email me. I know people are emailing me, and I hope that you've got the response today that I have made that decision. I haven't done this before, but we are in unique circumstances. Yep. I haven't done this before. Every year I get requests from other groups. Can we do? No, sorry. You know what? They've got a program, and trust me, they're good people that you're with, and it's fine. This year it's not the case. We don't even know who the other people are, the other guides are, and these are actual people who are desperate trying to get on this program. So I do have a responsibility. I do feel it, and I will stand by it, but I am limited, and so I will share the resources that I can, and those emails will be staggered because, as I was saying before, normally we would be doing this program over 6 months, 4 months, taqriban. Let's say 4 months. I would be having emails and activities and webinars across those 4 months, Ramadan being a key mock exam in it. That's the killer. Those who are part of this group in Ramadan are still trying to throw that mock exam out. Do you remember, guys, when I said that, this would be normally part of the kind of the final preparations for Hajj. We would have already done all the groundwork, and I want to now practice. I want you to practice to see how good you are at making dua, because dua is going to dominate. Okay, so I'm not going to speak about dua again. So to the new people who missed that video, I will give you a link. For the rest of you, all of you know very well that in our Google Hajj 23 group, I did a video in the last nights of Ramadan, and I spoke very clearly about when and why dua preparation is the single most important act that is applicable in Hajj, dominates the Hajj time, and is the make or break of your Hajj. Not the fiqh, not the wise, not the house, not piece of cake, all that is, right? And so therefore, I recorded that video and gave people an opportunity to try out in Ramadan where they're at, gauge themselves. Where's my dua game at? Where's my dua stamina at? How long before it's yani, then I'm now repeating myself? How long before I'm starting to yani think that am I one of those people that have got unique designs in my fingers thingy? How long before you're into this and then you're back here again? How long? What is your dua stamina like? When you are making dua in those last nights, were you standing and sitting and standing and sitting? And so at the very least, you've got your mind shooting in that direction. And of course, we're going to come back to this in the next couple of seminars myself, but I'm not going to speak about that in any depth now, because go back and watch it. Okay, go back and watch that video. It's in the group and it covers this issue of dua. For the new people that have just joined, of course, I'll give you the link. But I want to say that the 4 months preparation would be certain key emails at certain activities and certain webinars that would be graded, that would be staggered, that would make sure it doesn't overburden folks and that people can kind of take everything in order. Similar to the Fiqh Salah course that was released last month in the Al-Maghrib portfolio, you would have seen that we only release the videos a bit to make sure you watch the first parts before then you can then get to the second, because those who have seen Fiqh Salah, the last videos are the most exciting. Me in a train, me in a plane, me in a hospital, me out there in the streets on Carnaby Street and outside Buckingham Palace and all madness and whatnot, and people love that behavior and they're like, what it is, I want to watch that one and not the one in the studio. Well, okay, guess what? The ones in the studio are the most important ones. So you know what we're going to do? We're not even going to give you the last ones. Sometimes you got to treat people like that, all right? And so we made people force them to watch it in order, in this kind of manner, and then we released the desserts, if you like. Not because we're trying to punish people, but because we understand, because we're educators. We understand how people do this. So we stagger it. We've only got 4 weeks now, folks. We've only got 4 weeks. And so effectively, I need to treat each week like a month in terms of our prep, right? And so speaking now to whoever this is relevant to, in my mind, this is what's going to happen now over the next 4 weeks, roughly 4 weeks. Okay, don't hold me to the exact dates, but let's just say roughly 4 weeks. What we're going to start doing now, you guys know, right, it is this next week is going to be a calm week in terms of content. People need to recover from the nightmare of what they put themselves through. By the way, some people didn't have a nightmare. There are a number of people that contacted me, didn't didn't go through any of the terrible Thursday or Freaky Friday or whatever Saturday was, and they just bowled up on Monday, joined on to the portal, saw a couple of spaces, that's it. Had 10 minutes connection with Nusuk, got their space, paid their card, and that's it. They haven't opened it again, looked at it again. They're living the life of Riley. They're like looking around and saying, who's been Nusuk? What's Nusuk, man? I'm sick Nusuk. You know what I'm saying? So the truth is that we have to look at what has clearly been traumatic for a lot of people. And so this next week now is where things are slowing down. That doesn't mean that places are not to be fulfilled, right? Those that are still waiting, we've got a plan for you guys, and then we've got to keep also an eye out for those that come back out from those folks that have cancelled or the system cancelled them. Those places will be coming up available, and as I said before, if the quota is because we're hovering up and down the quota like this, like one above, one below, one above, one below, 1, 2 above, 2 below, right? And so soon as we go under the quota, the system obviously has an API, it has an automatic system. As soon as the quota is underneath, then if someone random person clicks on their program and you're underneath the quota, you can buy it. Now, what about if at a certain time a large number of cancellations occur and it goes 100 under the quota? If it goes 100 under the quota, at that moment, people can go on and buy quite a few seats. So this will be happening randomly. So there's actually no point to be killing yourself over it. If it's such a lottery, then treat it like a lottery then. And just come pull up yani on Tuesday, Wednesday, have a go and say, if it happens, to Allah. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen, right? We now need to start moving off of this. It's a conspiracy theory and it's murder and it's torture. Khalas, you know what? Hajj is tough. I've learned the hard way. And you know what? I tried my best. And that's only that was in my ability. I'm planning for next year and that's it. So it's going to be a calmer week. And for the group, I want this next week for my own group to be filling in your introductions, which is going to be coming out tonight. Very important form. And I want you now to start thinking of the prep. And I'm going to be sending out some emails to everybody, all right? To group, old group, new group as well. Original group, new group. It's horrible, these terms, but you know what I mean. Packing lists, all right? And preparation activities. So the packing list is going to be in 2 parts. Actual items. And then another one is going to be about footwear. Because footwear is its own unique reality. Not really for the sisters, but for the men. It's a major issue. So we'll speak about that. And then the separate part will then be the physical preparation that's going to be required. Alhamdulillah, Amina, you know, Amana Fitness, does a great job. I'm sure you've seen her. If you haven't seen her, go and check it out. Type Amana Fitness into Instagram or YouTube. But I think that she's kind of does her main stuff. She's going to be helping create a fitness plan, which we're going to implement straight away, but today or tomorrow or whatever. She'll be posting on the both groups, the old group and the original group. Okay, so if you're in the new Google Comms group, okay, which by the way is only for AE folks that have paid and it's very specific for communication, and you don't want to keep receiving doubles of everything because they're being sent to the original group as well, the bigger one, then please unsubscribe from the big group because you're going to be receiving it there, but it's going to be sent in both. And that's going to be a physical program to get people's fitness up and the people's steps up and get used to walking. And it's essential that you follow the instructions that are included therein. And I don't want anything else to be done other than people to reflect upon what they need to get and what they are planning for, etc. And all of you will be included. Those who are not going this year, you're still part of the wider group, okay, the old email group, and you can read and you can start getting that into your prep plan. It's for everybody that is going this year or not going this year. And I'm going to now speak a little bit about these prep points, because the list itself, you might have thought that half of these things would have been provided by the Hajj operator. 2 points. Number one, there is no more Hajj operators. One of the things that we've been slapped into, slapped into what? Into submission, right? We've been told again and again and again by our seniors and these agents and the rest of folks that you cannot think of Hajj like it used to be. You can't, yesterday there was a meeting of the Al Bayt people that I was invited to join, and they were talking about the problem of merchandise. Everybody knows that, you know, you get things like a bag and like a wallet, and those folks that join me for my Aqsa program or Umrah program know very well. You get all these little goodies, little things, you know, like holding your phone lanyard or a nice little rucksack. Some are drawstring bags. Other companies that do the program would give you the collapsible bags and all these little things. And when it comes to Hajj, some of these guys, you know, like Hidayah and Dome and Dar es Salaam and all these boys, they give some sick stuff, right? Little fans and branded umbrellas and blah, blah, blah. Bro, that is gone, all right? You got to understand that as far as the Hajj ministry is concerned, those people are gone. They've been kicked out of the system. And here's the irony. The irony is that the justification was some kind of fraud that these people took, people's money, ran off with it. And you wouldn't believe what is happening right now. I heard and I saw, actually, and I'm sure you guys would have seen on Telegram as well, people who are claiming to be, I don't know if you saw, Nusuk Customer Services at gmail.com, yeah? Messaging people and taking payments from people and telling them to go and take this program, get this program, click on that program, asking for payments to book it, all fake, all fraud. Actually, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be very honest with you. For as long as I have been doing Hajj, I have never seen myself or come across obvious fraud. I heard stories, you know, some packs went down some back lane kind of shop and they paid cash over to some guy, no receipts, no nothing, didn't even check whether he was there yesterday, whatever, and the guy's run off. I mean, you know what I mean? If you're going to do something stupid like that, then, you know. But I never heard of it or saw it. This is a system that's come to take away fraud. It's the first time I see it happening right in front of me, meaning I'm seeing emails coming from different groups, this, that, whatever, whatnot. An industry of fraud created off the anti-fraud change. The irony, the delicious irony, the traumatic irony. Anyway. So, of course, gone off on a tangent and completely forgotten what the fish was. All right. So, in terms of preparation, these folks cannot have an identity. They've got rid of all of the Western identities. And The Hajj ministry wants this to be an internal thing. That's why they got rid of Mutawif last year, which is a private contractor, I think it was, or whatever it was, private. It wasn't the government. Right now, this is a government-run thing. So we can't have dome tours bags and Hidayah bags and Al-Bayt umbrellas and things like that. Could that maybe happen if they strike some kind of deal with the Hajj ministry, or even say to the Hajj ministry, okay, we don't want brands, but you got to understand, our people from the West, they're very particular type and they expect this and they expect that. And so maybe they can convince them to supply their own, maybe. But guess what? You know my rule by now. Trust nobody. The single biggest overriding principle of this group is trust nobody. We will be entirely independent of everyone. Guys, we're going to have coaches. We're going to have transport arranged in places or whatever. But if you go to my website, right, you'll see in the FAQ, what does it say? People who can't walk shouldn't come. People who are elderly, sorry. People who are disabled, my apologies. Because this is not for you. Why? Not because it won't be there. There won't be a coach. There might not be someone to help you get onto a coach or pick up whatever. It's because I don't want anybody to rely upon anybody else. I want everybody to know that if the worst case scenario happened, this got cancelled, that got cancelled, the driver and he didn't come, the coach crashed, the blah de blah, this, that, whatever, whatnot, that the hotel was booked up or the rooms were overbooked, for example, my group as a group of people have to be united enough and prepared enough to be able to deal with it. I'll give you one example of 2018. And I don't mean just like, I'll give you an example of 2019. We get to Mina, okay? And you can be the most organizers in the world, right? But everyone makes mistakes, everyone messes up, and of course, us as the people, muggins, are going to have to take the rap for it. In 2019, the spaces, I told you that we all go to a tent in Mina, and everyone's sleeping right next to each other, right? Check videos, just go Google Mina, just get an idea of what Mina's like. It doesn't matter how many millions you pay, right? Everyone's going to be sleeping next to each other. That's how much space you've got. So if you are worried about, oh my God, I don't want to share, bro, wait till you get to Mina, all right? Wait till you get to Muzdalifah and you are sleeping on top of each other. No, all the money in the world ain't stopping that. You know what we're going to do? We're going to embrace it. We're going to turn it into a fun night. And that can only happen with attitude. Your attitude, your mindset. If you see all of us together, then you will embrace it. That's how humans are. We are social creatures of habit, of observation, and going along with the crowd. And if you trust the people that you are with, and you realize that I'm in the exact same situation, that my team are in the exact same situation, then you will do it as well. But when you guys do it, it's a different level of experience, right? Because you guys have paid for it, whereas we didn't pay for it. So you might think, yeah, you know what it is? We're not really equals, are we? This is not the same. Well, if you do this program and understand the mind shift change, and you realize, no, you very much are. I'll give an example of 2019. 2019, we get to the Mina situation, and they've miscalculated. And if you've got all one space, per person, if you've got 2 spaces left, what's the flipping solution? By the way, you might say, we'll put someone in the... you might say that we'll put... if we have this situation, and you've got people sleeping on this side, okay, so we'll put a person in the middle like that. Well, guess what? This whole tent has been measured. This is all of Mina, by the way, so that the people who are sleeping the other side are like that. There is no walkway in the middle. If you're thinking that there's a walkway in the middle, your feet here touch that person's feet there. That person's feet and this person's feet will touch. You can't put a person here in the middle. You can't even walk in the middle. When we are organizing who's sleeping in this room, we put the short guy, where are my hands here? We put the short guy there and we put the long guy here to compensate for his feet. So his feet end up, bloody hell, this is more harder than I thought. Working backwards. There. His feet come up to here because he's a long guy. And the one at the front. So we can't put it. That's how tight it is. That's what Hajj is like. Again, people like, I'm going to go Mu'asim, I'm going to go VIP camps. Bro, save your money. I told you guys that from the very beginning. Save your money. Save your money. Right? Anyway, example. If you're 2 down, where are they going? Where are they going if they're 2 down? Well, it's okay. We got in 2019 we had about 7-8 team members. They take one for the team. So the chief Uthman, who's the team leader of the whole gang, okay, he's my number one, yani my right hand man. He said, right, it was him and Shaz. Everybody knows Shaz. If you don't know Shaz, that's our other main guy. And they said, all right, khalas. And so they went out and they slept either in the kitchen part or in the path, because that's actually not much different from sleeping inside the tent. Frankly, it's on the hard floor with a a tough kind of situation. So they slept on the floor, and that's fair enough. That's what organizers do, right? You didn't pay for any money for your place. Go out there and take it. All right. But the year before, in 2018, right, they got the numbers wrong, and there were not enough team members to cover for the lack of space. Allah is my witness. All right. We'd already sent the team members out, and we were still one space short. So I shared with one of the pilgrims. And I say shared. I mean, I'm a big guy, bro. I shared that much space, which is the width of my shoulders, with another guy. Another guy, bro. Right? And we had to basically obviously sleep facing the other direction in half a space, and have shifts who sleeps. So when he would sleep, I wouldn't sleep. And then that's me, the head of the group. And that's a group member who's paid. You know how that happens? That happens when you trust the group. When you trust the system. When you fulfill all the exercises. When you do all the introductions. When you open up, when I say, guys, this is an icebreaker, I want you to introduce yourself, and you open up. When you realize what we're trying to create. When you realize that this is not about the Hajj. When you realize that these relationships that we are developing are for afterwards. We are teaching you the skills of you now going and take what you've learned and build that in your communities. You're all meant to go back and make your masajid to be this kind of situation itself in a small micro version of the Hajj. It's all part of a wider agenda. Now, my point is, if this is what can happen in a year where everything was actually in our control in the old system, then what about a new system that we don't know about? We just don't know. So we cannot assume anything. We cannot assume what electric stuff will be supplied. We can't assume what bedding equipment we're going to be supplied. We cannot assume the soaps and the things that we're going to be supplied. We cannot assume that we're going to get an umbrella. We can't assume that there's going to be a drawstring bag to carry our stuff around. We cannot assume what's going to happen on the ground. We cannot assume, for example, that they're going to be regular with coaches and this and that and whatever. Of course, that's what they've told us. That's what they're hoping. And that's what we, inshallah, hope they will do. But we cannot assume it's definitely going to happen. And we're going to be ready. And if it happens, great. But if it doesn't happen, we'll be ready. And that is how we're going to approach our Hajj. Ready for everything. Trust nobody except ourselves. So we are going to make sure that we are independent, and our Hajj will go ahead if everything falls down. If all the coaches collapse, we've got a plan, how we're going to walk, what we're going to do, have we got the right equipment for that to happen. We know that we're going to suffer blisters. We know that we're going to suffer sunburn. We know that because we are going to be exposed at this moment, this time. So I want you to bring this particular brand of this. I want you to bring this particular azithromycin, this dose. You're going to ask for this prescription. You're going to get this particular type of blister. We are going to be ready for everything. And that's going to be reflected in the packing list. And you might be thinking this is a huge list, and the reason is because we cannot expect or assume that they're going to deliver on anything. I'll give you one example. Nusuk, they said that people will be able to change flights. Remember that? They said that if you go, something like that, they said you will be allowed to package modification or something like that. Remember, by the way, none of the guides have been able to see an actual pilgrim's portal. We're doing this entirely based upon your reports. And so therefore, it says that, modify your package and we'll get this flight, that flight. Now, you remember, obviously the new folks, they haven't been, they didn't pre-register before because they just joined, so they don't know about this. But I told folks, they say that, but don't depend upon it. Anybody that's signing up for Hajj, you better believe that if you're trying to travel from somewhere else or go somewhere else afterwards, you're going to end up paying for it themselves. They're telling you that you can get a ticket refunded. I can bet anything it's not going to happen. Guys, I said that. Yeah, please put that in the comments. Because there'll be folks that be saying, what are you hearing for this? But no, I said that repeatedly. Anyway, yesterday got confirmed that there'll be nobody that will be able to change any of their tickets that have been that booked, you know, as your actual itinerary. All right. And so that's just a small example. You have some kind of idea and expectation or belief or whatever, and you now realize that that's not the case and it's changed, etc., etc., etc. So there are going to be surprises to come. There are going to be things to come, and you got to be able to embrace all of it. All right, this is getting long. I have actually budgeted an hour and a half for this. And by the way, the reason that we're doing this on YouTube is because Zoom can't handle. We thought there'd be over 500 people, and we don't know what the capacity will be. But anyway, I want to say one word about Yani, what I think is the most important thing for you to do if you never see another video, right? And then I'm going to finish off with the final logistics for people, especially those that are struggling with payments, and then we do questions and stuff. Okay. The single most important preparation that you will make for Hajj is your desire to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what you want. That's it. People will be stressed out right now thinking, I don't know what I need to wear. Bro, I'm going to send an email about that. You're going to have a week to digest it. Next Sunday, I'll just tell you now, next Sunday, same time, we're going to do part 2 of this, which is just going to be Q&A. And it will be the questions that a week of reflection and a week of attempting to buy things and X, Y, Z, whatever, whatnot. Nobody used to email me. I don't want to see a single flipping email from any of you Pakistani this week. I swear to God, right? Because my inbox is going to die. I want a week off from emails. This was being done right now for you to now distill all of these ideas in your head. Follow the instructions of the emails that are coming out. For the new group, there's an introductions list. I want every single person to write their introduction as I've asked it to be done, with all the details, with depth, lots of detail. And I want my peoples here, Faiza, Suraya, Mahjabeen, Farida. I want all of Resh and Jess, the twins. I want all of my peoples. My peoples, you all know who you are, exactly who you are, to lead the way and do the wows and to do the where you come from in the depth that I like, so that the people can see it, okay, and realize exactly what it is that's expected of them. I want that to be your main activity for the week. I want you to look over the packing list and the thingy list and just start to visualize your packing and how much space. Don't buy it yet because it's still got plenty of time. Amazon brings it next day anyway. So, but I want you to prepare, because next week then we're going to discuss those things specifically, the logistics and the packing items and the like. But we're also going to discuss menstruation, right? And that email has already gone out to the general list. That's it. That is where it is. And then for the new group, I'm going to send that out tonight as well. And that's going to get you thinking now over the next week about whether you want to be taking tablets or not. The details are all there for you to digest. You can see that not a single thing is being spoken about Umrah. Not a single thing is being spoken about Hajj, because none of that matters right now. Because I'm going to release that material on next Sunday. And the reason I'm releasing it on that Sunday is to give you 1 to 2 weeks to digest it all. And then bam, on June the 4th, there's going to be a 5-hour full seminar on the Umrah. You might be thinking, Umrah? Well, I'm here for the Hajj. Nope. Our Hajj, our fiqh of the Hajj, the specific acts of the Hajj is done in base camp. Your single most important activity right now is the Umrah. That's the only thing you need to focus on. Everybody will have plenty of time, even over there, to start talking about and thinking about the Hajj, etc., etc. Of course, we'll cover a little bit of the Hajj in it, but it will be the focus on the Umrah, because this Umrah is far more important and bigger than a normal Umrah. It is the Umrah of Hajj, and therefore we're going to be covering that detailed aspects of the fiqh, of the material that you've already been given next week to digest for 2 weeks, and then you're going to have then the webinar. Then 3 or 4 days after that, we're going to have an extra Q&A session. So that, by the way, that June 4th, just want people to kind of... these dates will come out, times will come out. Just wanted to give you a rough idea of the schedule. June 4th will be in person. And it will be in Manchester, and it will be in Cheadle Masjid. And it will be over the afternoon UK time, morning EST. And Those folks that can't come from London and the rest of the world will be joining it on webinar, and it will be widescreen, and you'll be able to see all the actions. I'll be physically doing it all, blah blah blah. And but in person, those that are close, Manchester, Bradford, local, Bolton, Leeds, whatever, can come down. Good for you to be there in person. All right, that'll be Sunday, I think 4th of June. I could be wrong. I think it is. Yeah, 4th. And then in the midweek, I'll do one here from the library. I will do a Q&A session to consolidate on anything that we've missed in the actual Umrah seminar. So you can see that from a physical webinar point of view, you got today's. Then you're going to have one on Sunday, same time, exactly in a week's time, to basically answer all of the questions that you've been thinking about this week. Logistical, visa, political, X, Y, Z, financial, blah, 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 blah. Okay, all of this kind of stuff, that's going to be covered in next week. Also, those questions from people that have got any concerns about menstrual cycles, menses, should I not, and the like, all that going to be covered on the next Sunday. And then that's when I then also release then the material, and then you're then digesting, reading, studying, memorizing, and the like. And then we go over and we do the big 2 weeks after that on the 4th. Is it 2 weeks after? I keep saying, yeah, it is 2 weeks after, yeah. 2 weeks after on the 4th, then we're going to have our own. This is, by the way, in addition to what Al-Bayt might be doing. And I'm prioritizing, of course, my group. If it clashes, and it possibly could or would, then you make your own choice which one you want to attend. There's no competition here. In actual fact, it might be better to do theirs, because they're looking to include in that everything in one kind of go, whereas these individual kind of things, they're like a crescendo, they build up. So you need to have got this basic knowledge, and then that one that we cover next week, and then so might work out in your interest. So you choose whatever you want that you want to go for. So that's the rough schedule in terms of the items that are going to be given to you in terms of the fiqh, whatever. Push it aside. The how to do, bro, as I tell my people all the time, you got to be pretty damn thick in the head, if you do tawaf the wrong way around, when there's a million people doing it that way, and then you start doing it that way. Yeah, Hajj is not difficult. Do you realize that what makes Hajj? Just being at Arafah. You don't need to know a word of Arabic. You don't need to know a word of English. You don't need to make a single dua. You don't need to be in wudu. You don't need to have done ghusl. You can be on your menses, and you can be there for 1 minute just before Maghrib. That is how simple Hajj can be. This is based upon knowledge. All right? Hajj is not difficult. Right? Those that want to be in purity, want to be there before Dhuhr and Asr and pray Dhuhr Asr in Jama'ah like the Prophet ﷺ did, want to make dua all day for 4 or 5 hours, want to try to make take advantage of the greatest day of the year, as the Prophet ﷺ said, want to make the opportunity to call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he's at the lowest heaven, want to disgrace the shaitan who's gutted that day because he is the day that he is most humiliated, as the Prophet ﷺ said. That's another level. Yeah, but I don't want people to stress. I don't want people to think, oh my God, I'm in the wrong group, I'm not going to be able to do it because I've not got that. I just told you, bro. What's the worst case scenario? Let me tell you what the worst case scenario is. Let's take a woman who is really tired and ill, and on her menses starts on the day of Arafah. She wakes up, like we all wake up in Mina on that night of the 9th, on the morning of the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, okay? And she's on her menses suddenly, and she's absolutely tired, and she doesn't know a word of Arabic, a word of English, a word of dua, and she has nothing, and she only became Muslim 5 days ago. All right? Make the worst scenario that you can imagine, tough, difficult scenario for that girl. What's the worst? Oh, and by the way, the coach is gone as well. Bro, it's 4 kilometers walk. Bro, she can start, and as long as I'm just giving you an extreme example, but it's a real fiqh example. She can leave the Mina tent at 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning and walk the 4 odd kilometers, not the end of the world, and arrive 4 kilometers, by the way, is not to the boundary of Arafah. To get to the boundary of Arafah, only 3 and a bit or whatever. But 4 will get her right into the middle of things like Jabal Rahmah. She gets there 5 minutes before Maghrib, has a look around, and says, oh Allah, I hope this is enough. And then she walks out. Right? She walks out after Maghrib. So she's there for 5 minutes. Didn't make a single dua. Didn't make a single dua. Wasn't in any state of purity. Took 6 hours to get there walking. She couldn't get any kind of direction, or couldn't get any coach, or couldn't get anything of any sort. She just turns up. She'll be forgiven for just arriving. fulfilled the single biggest obligation of the Hajj, and she's on her way to becoming and fulfilling her fifth obligation as it's known. We can make the Hajj as easy as you want, and we can add to that Hajj the detail to make it as fulfilling and as Sunnah-esque as you want. Nobody should panic. Trust the system when I say to you that we don't want to be covering this now. That's for its own time. We're going to focus on this because this is for this time. Don't worry about the fiqh. I'll teach you that in one day over there. But you know what I can't teach you guys? I can't teach you that, guys, over the next 4 weeks, I need you to now start going around to people, speaking to them, researching issues that you really want to get involved with, making life decisions, looking, assessing where you are, where your marriage is at, where you're on the journey of buying a house, not buying a house, what you might need to do as a result of that. You're considering taking conventional mortgages. You're looking at the Islamic options. You don't like that. You're looking at a job situation and you're seeing it's going pear-shaped. You're looking at some problems that are occurring with your kids and the rest and the like. I want you to now I want you to tell yourself, convince yourself, because your whole body will be saying no. Your mind will be saying no, it can't be this. This can't be my preparation. I'm telling you, it's your preparation. Your single biggest preparation is the dua stability, knowing and wanting to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because brothers and sisters, my God, this is not 5-10 minutes of dua. At Arafah, you're going to be there, sitting there thinking, how on God's planet do I make dua for 5 hours? 5 hours. This place is the most boring place ever. It's the hottest place ever. It's the most barren place ever. Arafah, right? There's literally nothing else to do. You came there for one afternoon in your life, not one afternoon in the year, one afternoon in your life. You're never going to come back again, as a figure of speech, right? You're only there for half a day. What else are you going to do? You're not there to make relationships with the locals, because there are no locals. You're not there to do anything else. So you might as well make dua, which is what the Prophet ﷺ told you to do. You're going to be thinking, how? The only dua I know is رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. You're thinking, I am dead. I am dead. Bro, you're not dead. You're not dead at all. Who told you that you need to know all the du'as in the Quran to make dua? Where were you, when you were reading the Quran and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded to the dua of the kuffar? Where were you when you were reading that verse? At what point did you tell yourself that the dua has to be read in Arabic? Who told you that dua is something that needs to be spoken anyway? Dua is a desire. Dua is from the heart. And if your heart is full of the right things to ask for, and you have the desire to really ask, Arafah is going to be the greatest day of your life. You're going to pour and pour and pour, and it doesn't matter whether it's gobbledygook coming out, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala understands all languages. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not restricted to just the language of Arabic. Who do you think He is? Who do you think He is? So I want you to know that what makes and breaks your Hajj, and I am now actually repeating what I did in the other video, so I'm going to wrap this up. You're going to be making dua for hours, just in the Umrah, 4 or 5 hours, just in the Umrah. Then when you go on Arafah, then the next morning in Muzdalifah, hours. Then when you're stoning the Jamarat, hours. Then when you're going to do the Hajj and the Tawaf of Hajj and the Sa'i of Hajj, hours. You're not a flipping robot. You can't make this up. You know how people do it? People reflect upon their lives and they start writing dua lists. They start writing dua lists. They start thinking, researching. I heard about China. Is it China? Do we even say China? Is it East Turkestan or is it China? Is it the Yin Yang region or is it East Turkestan? What am I meant to say? What am I meant to ask for? The Uyghur Muslims, they touch my heart. Do they? First of all, you got to know, do they really touch your heart? Well, read up about them. This is what you got to do for the next 4 weeks. I want you to read, study, and write down from your research, what is the du'as that I want? You're going to be thinking about your children. Don't be so lazy, oh Allah give them the best. No, be specific. Identify their strengths. Identify their weaknesses. be specific in your dua. That's the sunnah, to be that in your dua. It also then makes you emotionally involved with it. Your intellectual and emotional investment in your dua is what's going to give you that stamina. Do you understand that, folks? That's what's going to make or break your Hajj. Not the fiqh. What do you think I'm there for? What do you think I'm there for? Not how much Quran you know or don't know. What's Shaykh Abdul Ghaffar there for? Do you know that I've been left completely at your mercy? You know, people think, how's he going to do it? Very easily. I have Ruhi who's there, right? You wouldn't believe how much stress she's taken off my head. I have Shazad who's there. SubhanAllah, I have Danish who isn't there. Who isn't there? You know, some of my team, people are thinking he dumped the Canadians. I lost my number one guy. I have no problem. I tell everybody, as any single person knows, Danish is my number one. Yeah, Usman is my team leader because he's the Amir. But Danish is my number one. He's my number one. He's the one who joins me in all my programs. He's the one, by the way, he's also the AV guy, by the way. So no flipping lovely slow motion cinema. None of that, man. That got flipping taken out, Yara. Taken out. Bloody Canadian situation. Lost my main guy. Lost Reem, who's going to be joining us, and even though she's not part of the team, we were going to give her a camera anyway. Bachari Reem. Lost a lot of many peoples, man. Right? But I want you to know that the people who are there are taking a whole load of focus off me. I've got doctors who are there, right? We have paramedics. We have specialists to take stress away from me. Shaykh Abdul Ghaffar is the best imam that I know in my life. And I only wanted the best, right? And, all of these people play a function. I don't need to worry about the. So I'm there for you, by your side, to make sure you don't make mistakes. You don't need to stress. All those new people are thinking, I don't have time. Okay, listen, I want you to find time and get involved fully because you will benefit. But if you're not that guy, not that person, join this program because you can't get invested in that. You're just going to ask me, what do I do now? What do I do now? I will be there to tell you, do this, do that, do this, do that, say this, say that. Don't worry. I got this. I got this. And my peoples have got me. They will be there making sure that I don't need to worry about all that stuff, to ensure that I am fully available 24 hours a day. There's no such thing as sleep, by the way. By the way, Nusuk is a whole reality of Hajj all the way through. Sleep. Yeah, and when we're in that minute tent and we've got this cacophony of snoring and the symphonies, you'll be seeing me go there like this. I often stand in the middle, and as he's going, and I'm going like this, like this, like this, and then I'm going to be hitting the drum bass where it goes, and it'll be this. And bro, it's a madness. This is Hajj, and we are buzzing for it. Hajj is the greatest experience you will have, folks. You will have. I can help you there. I can help you with the fiqh. I can tell you the halal harams. I can tell you what to do, but I can't ask Allah for you. Only you can do that. And I can't make you last more than 10 minutes. I can't make you last more than 20 minutes. Only you know you. Only you know your situation. Only you know your pain. Only you can write that down. Only you can ask other people and really be invested in those people and go to them with genuine sincerity and not say to them, listen, is there something that you want? So that you just keeping up appearances, and you write it down, and then you go there, and then you, of course, you can't be bothered because you didn't even, worry about that. And then you are there and you say, I can't be bothered. Allahumma ghafir al-muslimin wal-muslimat wal-mu'minin wal-mu'minat. Yeah, and then you go back and they say, did you make dua for me? You say, yeah, I did, yeah. Lazy packy. Yeah. You can't be doing that. Go and get invested in these folks. Find out what it is that they want and write it down. Shock people. I've said this to you guys before in the previous video. Shock them. When they say to you, yeah, make dua for whatever, yeah, make dua for me. People say dua miyad. My number one hated, most worst statement ever, dua miyad. When anyone Paki says to me dua miyad, I turn immediately to them and say, what dua? And they've got no idea. So it's just become, dua miyad has become, I love you. Meaningless statement, just a conversation ender. Yeah, I love you. Yeah, what do you mean I love you? Does anybody ever in history, like all those folks, of the Western culture, that say I love you, actually mean it when they say that? It's basically it's like see you later. When you say see you later, do you see them later? No, you don't. See you later. You stop on the flipping motorway at a station that you're never going to go back to ever again, and then you think you're done, take your money, all right, see you later, bye, see you later. You're not seeing him later. Meaningless statement. conversation ender. Exactly the same as I love you. Exactly the same as inshallah, nobody cares. Well, guess what? That's exactly what dua miyad has. If you don't understand the gujis, then you probably don't even know what that means. But dua miyad means remember me in your du'as. Stop, turn around, say to that person, what dua did you specifically want? They're like, then they say, Jannah and protection from the hellfire. You know? That's like, when a person forgets a surah and they like panic and they just go, Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad. You know when you bail out of a proper surah and you go into Qul huwallahu ahad? It's a default kind of savior surah. Well, that's what people say when you say to them, what kind of dua? They're like, Yeah. Go up to people and educate them. Say, bro, if you really want me to make dua for you, I will. Believe me, I'm going to write it down, I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to take my paper, and you will, by the way. We will be doing this. In an Arafah week, and I'm showing you the greatest place ever, hidden secret place, mashallah, we have a tega on it, right? It is completely our own private place where we're going to go. And by the way, if you want to see that place, look at the videos. You know, where you're seeing the sunset down and you're seeing us making dua. The one that is there is the picture of me. I think it was Maria, I think in one year, and Danish the other year that took it. And you can see the sun setting and the mountains are where they're making dua. That's a location. Did you notice that there's nobody around? It's just our group, right? So over there, we're going to be there. You're going to sit down and you're going to pull out your list and you're going to now read and think and call upon Allah. That's the preparation I want you to do. That's the preparation. That's what will make and break your Hajj. Not the fiqh, not the haram, not the halal. What do you think I'm going there for? All right, folks? So with that said, I just want to give a bit of feedback. There's going to be a Telegram poll coming out for those folks that are still stuck with payment issues. By that, this was that nightmare scenario where people didn't press complete payment. They didn't press complete payment. They still got an AE package in the thingy. They haven't been added to the group because payment, only people that can be added to the new group are those that have completed their payment and are on visa process. To get there, some people are in different scenarios, right? Some have got cancelled, some are saying failed, but many of you are in a situation where it says waiting for payment or waiting for payment, and you've already sent the money and it's gone, but there's no connection between it. I told you all, you've got to connect to Nusuk and tell them, this is my passport number, this is my case number, this is stuck, I didn't press complete payment, move it on so I can pay the rest of the money. And things are happening and it's not moving on. Anyway, what we're going to try and do is launch like a class action. So there's going to be a form and you respond if you're one of those people who have made that payment and it's stuck and you can't do anything and you don't have any other option. And if you cancel it, there's not going to be an ability to buy another package because either it's not available or it's available but the quota is finished, and so you don't want to cancel it, so you're afraid to touch it and it's still there and it's a standoff, right? And deadlines come or gone, or maybe the money's already there. You people reply on the form and fill it out. Fill out the form. It's coming out soon and on Telegram group. And if you don't know the Telegram group, you can find it in the emails. So fill that in so that you folks can be then looked after, inshallah, in the what's it called? In that kind of class action. No promises, of course. We've got no idea what will happen, but that's that. Rest of you folks that are still not confirmed, keep going. People will say, when is the end? The end is the end. There is certainly no end right now. What? UK quota is full is the end? Bro, we saw that on last Saturday. Am I right or wrong, folks? If we believe that the end is what they tell us, Mashair quota exceeded. That was last week. 2 days after we launched, UK quota full. We're talking about the whole week, everybody's been buying, confirming, getting visas, whatever, whatnot. The end is the end. When you click and nothing comes up, and it really is nothing coming up for 3-4 days, then I'll say, you know what, this actually might be the end. Yeah. Until then, you can still keep going. You can still keep going. And guess what? Those folks who've had enough, you are not blamed in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's my responsibility I take. That's the ruling and fatwa that I've given. That you can say in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I tried my best. This is my ability. I can't put work off anymore. I can't think about this anymore. Some people can. Carry on. Some people can't. You can go next year. Make a plan for another year. Don't need to put yourself through this kind of situation if it's too much for you. But, to keep going on about it now, killing yourself or making whatever yourself ill, forget it. Forget it. It is what it is. All right, folks. So that's, I think, in my head, some of the key things that I had. If there's any questions on specifically to do with logistics and things and items or whatever, again, I don't want people to be replying and saying, I got this list from blah de blah on Google or my friend. I don't want people sharing anything. All right, this is a closed group, my rules, right? I'm going to send a list, and you want to bring your own stuff, you bring your own stuff, right? But I don't want lots of replies to the emails in the groups. Telegram also, minimize it, but it's a chat group, so if you want to, that's fine, okay? But the whole point is that you've got now this week to now think about these logistics. This week now is a week where I'm going to be focusing on my own work, my own prep, all right, my own stuff, and then we're going to have a session where all of your questions of the week can be put. And what kind of questions will I be taking in that? Because I'll be releasing the menstruation email to people that have not seen it, then there'll be questions on menstruation where I'll be speaking in general, okay? Obviously not identifying people. We'll be speaking about the lists that I've sent, meaning the list of the prep. I will be checking and getting your feedback on how your fitness levels are. I'll be checking to make sure that some of the items that we've asked, what is your progress in getting them or not getting them, okay? I'll be also ensuring that certainly the final group itself, they have fulfilled the introduction form, because I will not forgive people that are not filling in that form. That form is very, very important to me, as my people are going to start off the gang, those that have been with me in previous programs or in current programs and that know this exercise and know how important it is to me personally, that I need to know you at a personal level. You fulfill this, and every single person, and you fulfill it on your mum's behalf and your dad's behalf as well, because you know what, you might not think that I'm interested, but I want to get to know them folks as well. I want to know them on a different level too. So I think that's it. I don't think there's anybody that's asking any questions, and which is great news. That means that pretty much everything that could have been expected has been covered, and you know that you're going to have a forum next week to do that. You know that you've got some emails that are coming. You know that thingy. The Instagram fitness lady, okay, can someone, guys, come on, man, put her Instagram thingy, Amina Khan, her name is, and she's going to be running the fitness. Please do that. Guys, you're going to need chappal and comfortable chappal, and that's going to be its own thread, a slippers thread. And I'm going to be discussing in that thread the difference of opinion about what kind of shoes and things that you're going to use. We're going to be doing a lot of walking. Ladies, bring your trainers, all right? Bring your favorite comfortable trainers, because women have no shoe, women do not have a shoe, what's the word called? Restriction, but men do. No shoes. And also don't like the sports sandals. So you need as comfortable kind of, slippers. If you can get some Hoyas, right? They're very nice. Or you can get some nice Croc kind of slippers that are comfortable, that are a bit, whatever. But the key thing, brothers and sisters, is to not get something new. You want to try to find the oldest ones that you've worn that are comfortable, that are going to cause minimum kind of, the new breaking in kind of problems, okay? There's sweat involved, there's heat involved. So these are factors which are not part of, so all of this practice of walking and exercise you've got to do in chappal, not in socks and trainers. You are going to bring some socks and trainers because you're not going to be in haram all the time, but the key walking parts will be in your chappal, and you got to be ready for that. The qurbani is not part of the package as was stated by Al Bayt. I'm sorry to say, they've repeated that a number of times, and I wish that was not the case, but it is. Is that a problem? Well, yeah, from a cost point of view, it is. That means that we've got to pay 150 quid. By the way, guys, listen. Someone said to me that the American program, AE program, double, was 60,000 riyals. Now, can someone confirm that? Because that is driving me flipping crazy. On the what's it called? On the brochure, on the nusuk thing, I saw it said 47 or 48,000 riyals. How is it costing 60,000? Please, someone give me some tasalli, because I'm losing my mind over that. Right. So the qurbani is a problem because we're going to have to pay another 150 quid ourselves. But from a process point of view, that'll be easy. We can deal with that over there. Nusuk haven't told us how long the visa process will take, but we know that visa focus has started. So it was 6 days before, because we have now some people that have had their visas, and now apparently it's going to be quicker. So we should expect it in 6 to 7 days or less, which is important because people have made mistakes, right? And that gives an opportunity for it to be coming back, and then you redoing it with the proper thingy. Can you please give a detailed description of the toilets in Mina and Muzdalifah? No, Zafar, I can't do that because that's not relevant right now. Okay, that's going to be in our Hajj training, in our Hajj parts. Our toilet, because it's not relevant right now, nothing at all, right? We're going to go to Azizia, and in Azizia, we're going to then do a very detailed breakdown of what the toilets are like, what the showers are like. By the way, actually, I don't even know. That's another thing. Remember, we are entering into a brand new frontier. I feel like Captain Kirk. To boldly go where no Paki has ever gone before. That's what we're going to be, right? We don't actually know. But if it's the same as the previous, then I'm going to set up our base camp training session on training you how to use those toilets. If it's the old system, it's cubicles, single cubicles like in any normal toilets, yeah, closed and everything. Full air conditioning, yeah, and gaps everywhere so you can smell the guy next door and hear him, yeah. And all of them are ground toilets. And for every 7 toilets, the 8th one is the one that has a seat. May Allah bless the one who's brave enough to sit on that seat. Right. Bro, there is no putting lipstick on a pig. This is Hajj. In Mina, in Arafah, bro, Muzdalifah, what are you going to do? What you're going to do is you're going to listen to my advice. When I say to you, stop eating now, don't eat this food, go toilets quickly here so that you don't have to go. This is part of the training, right? So just wait, be patient, and trust me, right? We're going to get through them. Are toilets and showers in one cubicle? Yes, they are. That's actually the best thing. If I would say the best thing about the Mina toilets is that the shower is in the cubicle. So when you get dirty, you can absolutely smash out a shower. You know what the great thing about doing Hajj in the burning heat is that you go out soaking wet and you're dry within 10 seconds. You know what? That's right. Listen, Ahlam, all of the guides that you're seeing on AE 6000, AE 4000, AE 5000, all of these people, Aman Patel, Ruhi Patel, Usman Ashraf, Muhammad Usman Ashraf, Abdi Ghafar Mudi, Shazad Salim, Kalthum Iqbal, Rizwan Shamim, Shahnaz Begum, and Ni'matullah. All of these are my team guides, Usman being the team leader. All right? And all of us are one program together. All right, guys? You don't have any individual guide. I'm having a heart attack. We will be with you. Bro, you are all with me. All with me. Will the next program have subtitles? Oh, Muhammad, I wish that we were that organized, man. In fact, I don't even know how you're doing that. It's all about embracing that toilet. You see, Usman Ashraf is there trying to become responsible and thingy. Where are we? You've successfully unsubscribed from Hajj 2023. Is that the right old group? Correct. Yeah. It was called Hajj 2023. The new one is Hajj with AE 2023, I believe, something like that. And it's not that bad at all. Right. Thank you, Sabine. 49,000 USD. Bro, if you lost your mind, Sabine. Reals, you mean, okay? Right. Anyway, I think we're going to call it. It doesn't seem like there's any more questions, inshallah. We arrive in Jeddah. Do the men have to be in ihram? No. Oh, Asma, that depends. This is why this is the challenge, right, of this group. I don't know about any other group. I can only speak about my group. So if you're part with this, is going out to everybody, right? So I just want you to know, everybody. I saw something from Chicago. Did I see a question about Chicago? Oh yeah. Do we have confirmation about Chicago flights? They will talk about date changes and maybe carrier changes. Really good question, Ramiz. As it stands, everything is what it is. If there's any change, it won't be like a fundamental change. You should still, everybody here, by the way, on the issue of flights, good question, Jazakallah khair. Everybody, whatever your flights say, and most of them are Saudiya flights with one RJ flight, and it says leaving on the 12th, and you're seeing times and things like that, and whatever. First of all, in your head, you've got to assume to be ready from the 11th. Some flights actually are leaving on the 11th, one American flight, one London flight, and it's possible there could be micro changes, date changes, carrier changes, but as it stands, in general, we're leaving on the 11th or the 12th. Those people who are going on the 11th, they're not getting extra days because our check-in starts at 12th evening or 12th evening or afternoon, whatever it is. Okay? Like, we don't have a hotel booked from the 12th. People might say, why are we going on the 11th? Bro, because there's about 6,000 flights that have been purchased for the 12th. Whatever we could get our hands on, we got our hands on. some of these flights are great. We'd take it every day of the week, getting there, waiting a few hours. It is what it is. So, and these flights are great because they're the first ones out as well. That's really, really important. Nobody needs to be in ihram. That's the reason why we go Medina. Horrible, you need to travel in that ihram all that time, right? So all of our flights go to Medina. Very relaxed journey for every single person. Oh, sugar, I did miss a whole load of questions. My apologies, folks. Right. Sorry, give me, I think those of course need to go, but it's not going to last too much longer. Give me 1 second here, folks. We're residents of Thingy of Chicago. Waqar, yeah, my guy, man. Tariq's the guy, okay. The New York departing, all of the, listen, oh, that's a good question. All right, guys, that's a really good question. Shall we buy flights that are Americans? This affects the Americans big time because they need to get connecting flights to their departing flight. If you don't mind, hopefully it doesn't hit you in the pocket, but delay as much as you can, at least by a week. If anything changes, I will confirm it in the group. If I get confirmation that the flights are done, then I will send you an email, because I am aware that every day that price will change. So if you need to fly, from Dallas to JFK, I know that getting it as early as possible matters. Please bear with me. I just know that the whole flight situation is in flux, and they pushed things through the door. They learnt their lesson from the Canadian example. They couldn't again get things through the door on the Canada side because they were just fitting too much to the rules. And when you do that, then you see what happens. So when you be a bit more flexible, and then you can get things through the door, but then afterwards, then you got to set up the consequences. That's, I guess, as much as I can say. I've got to say that Ahlam's questions are awesome. Will we see AE in person? Ahlam, you're going to become so sick of me, bro. Yeah? You're going to become super sick. See, Asif paid 52,000, yeah? And FB paid 47,000. Can someone tell me what on God's earth is going on? How can people be paying different reals? Different dollars and pounds, I get it, because there's an exchange rate. But how are people paying? Can someone put me out of my misery and explain to me why are people paying different reals for the same thing? And yeah, okay, we've got to make it quad versus quad and double versus double, by the way. Yeah. Is there any possibility? No flights can be, guys, let me make it very, very clear. No flights can be changed. No rooms can be changed. People who say, I wanted a double, but I was forced to quad. Well, hello, bro. That's exactly the problem that we've been in. That's the reason why people are so upset. Not with us. We had nothing to do with it. It is what it is. And not only that, I'm telling you now, listen to me very carefully, guys. If you are a husband and a wife and you both bought 2 double places in a double room, you are not sharing that room. You are not in that room alone. What you have purchased, and I'm speaking, obviously the old people know this because this was warned way early. But for the new people that don't know me or don't know anything and have not been following all the Nusuk drama, let me make it clear to you. If you are 2 individuals that bought 2 double places in a double occupancy, as it stands, the man is going to share a double room with another man. And the wife is going to share her double room with another woman. Yes. If you are a husband or a brother and a sister and your mum and your dad, a brother and a sister, a mum and dad, and you bought 4 places in a quad occupancy, as it stands under Nusuk rules, the brother and the father are in a quad room with 2 other males to come in from another booking. And the sister and the mother are in their own room with 2 other ladies to come. The rooms are all sharing across the board by gender. However, we were told by Nusuk / Al-Bayt / the authorities that they will try their very best to ensure that we do give the people their preferences. No guarantees at all. Terms and conditions, do all your legal stuff. No guarantees. So when I send out this form that I've sent out already, you better have filled it in. And if you haven't, I want you to fill it in. Okay, this is only for the AE group. The other people who are booked with other people, you will have your own people that will send that form out for the AE group only. Please think and fill it in, and inshallah my team will then, what will happen, let me tell you the process. I was told this yesterday. My team, Danish and Rohi and everybody, they will then go through everything and try to work it out and give people what they want as best as possible. Some people, obviously, there are some people, by the way, they are traveling as a 3, and they bought 3 places in a quadrum. Well, of course, yani, if you've bought 3 places in the quadrum, you've already accepted that another person's coming in. And if you've got a lady in your 3, then of course we're going to have to separate the ladies. And so you already know that anyway. But regardless, you're going to put down your preferences. And that's all they are. They're not demands. Don't be demanding anything from me, okay? Because the demand is going in this ear, out that ear. We have no control. We're not even Hajj agents, for crying out loud. You know what I'm saying? But what we can do is that we can collect information from people that we like and love and trust, because they trust us. We will try to take you home. We will try and make it happen. And we are confident if you fulfill our instructions. By the way, I just want to put out there is no group as organized out there as the AE group, because we run it like you see it being run. So follow the instructions, and inshallah, we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. Danish, yani Ahlam, you will see AE almost every single day. Why are you going to be like that? Why are you saying almost every... when you know that she can see me every single day and going to be doing ulti yani every time she sees me? You do need to buy your own ihram, okay? Ihram, nothing is being supplied. Nothing is being supplied. And even if it is supplied, don't assume it. If and by the way, I do think that they'll probably, or when we get there, have like a whole stack of ihrams that they got from somewhere. Don't rely upon it. If you have your own ihram that you like and enjoy, bring it with you. Okay, these are the kind of questions that I'm going to be answering next week. But let's just start with a few now. Have we gone over? Listen, we need to be quick now. So I've said that how many times? It's my fault. Okay, don't blame me. Right? So the ihrams, right? If you got one, like I've got one that I've been using for the last 20 years. I always do my umrah with my own ihram. And it's a very high quality towel from back in the day. And that's what I use. If you have something that you got sentimental value for or quality value, bring it. Otherwise, we're going to go and I'll show you the places to buy good ones there, cheap ones and good ones, everything, etc. See, 50k. Exactly, Adil. Thank you. 50k. I'm sorry, I'm just behind on the thingy. Muhammad, yeah. Masri, yani la shak. I will send out recommendations for the slippers soon. Yes, start practicing your squats. Can we wear hat umbrellas and backpacks? Not hat umbrellas. Men can't do that. And backpacks, yes, you can, and you will need it as well. Away says that it's 47. Thank you very much. Driving me absolutely crazy, this 60 grand thing. Just going through it quickly, guys. Can we pay someone for the qurbani before we leave for Hajj? No, guys. Qurbani is udhiyah. We call it qurbani. It's not qurbani. Okay, we say qurbani because we're all Pakis, right? It's not qurbani. It's called udhiyah. All right, and the udhiyah is linked to the rites of Hajj. It needs to be done there. All right, this is not qurbani yani that you do when you're not at Hajj. This is the Hajji's one that you got to do there. Don't pay anybody for any qurbani before you go Hajj. The flights are imtiyaz. As I said, I'm going to get that confirmed. The dua. Hanna on the session on dua prep, that's going to be an ongoing thing. Okay, that's parcel of the written material that you'll see that's coming inshallah. Some of us are not receiving your emails from the new Google Comms group, Muhammad Ahmed. So what you should do is to email me, okay, or email Shazad. Actually, he deserves any blessing. What are you email me for? Right, email him and tell him what it is that yani you're missing, or Danish, okay? We miss you, Farida. We're happy that you're with us. Yani, mashallah, super Farida. No Hanna, no changes allowed from anything to anything, okay? Oh, sorry. I thought he was asking change from double to quadrum. That's the difference. Yeah, okay. Where can we post questions for next week's seminar? A list will come out. Danish will send out a list yani, for questions. They will all go a Google form, and then that's going to be then I don't need to do all that. The packages kept changing prices too, so there is something going on, Aziz has confirmed. That's really flipping weird, man. Right. Will a Telegram poll include those who are waiting for our second 50% to clear on the Nusuk side? So you know what? There are people that are waiting for the 50% to clear, and there's nothing wrong with your booking. Everything's going to plan. You see, they've said that we've received it and we're waiting for the next part, and nothing's blocked and everything's going to plan and you're within deadline. Those people are not meant to be filling anything in. You people, everything is going to plan. So that should not be included. You shouldn't be including anything. Okay? To confirm, 2 forms for women were sent out correct. The latter form is what I filled. Yeah, there's no third version, Shah. That's correct. That's correct, yeah. Thank you, Fawzan, for confirming that to him. Can I use more than 2 pieces for ihram? We'll deal with the ihram later. Muhammad, don't speak about these questions right now. How do I get part of the emails? Rabia, that depends on you talking about or have you paid confirmation AE group? If you are, it's a different group. Email Shazad. And if it's not, then the general group, where you must be because you're getting all this kind of stuff, right? And I think طبعا أنت مصري طبعا. محمد only Masris يعني repeat Muhammad. Cash, no, we'll be taking our cards. You can withdraw cash, and has it been acknowledged that for AE 1000 we won't sleep due to arriving midnight or so? Yes, no, it hasn't been acknowledged, but you can see from the times that we will be covering these logistics in our next session next week, which will be more specific to AE. And yes, people are going to be they do think. Babar, I'm going to send you that. He's been emailing the group. Whoever needs to be added to a group is, or you can also check in the members as well, and just find him. Just type it. It's Salim Shazad at hotmail.com. But anyway, for those people who are waiting for money to land and they are within their deadline, then there's nothing to do. And Hamza says my deadline is tomorrow, okay, and the second 50%. And if you don't think it's going to get there, wasn't it extended anyway? It was extended, so I don't know what's going on. It should have been extended. So what's the problem? I think it's been extended. Okay. All right. I think that's it, folks. All right. Please contact Nusuk if you've got any kind of problems. All right. Yeah, we can use the apps. I haven't got I haven't got thingy. I haven't got the app yet, but absolutely we're going to be using the app as well. And there's ATMs in the places you need them. You don't need them in Mina and Muzdalifah. The currency in Mina and Muzdalifah is massage and Diet Coke and ice. That's the currency. You have that, okay, and battery packs, right? Then you've got all of the dollar and the pounds and the currency in the world. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Jazakumullah khair. Can we just give it up for the professionalism of this presentation? And the sick, what do you mean the message is confusing? You want to slow right down, right? Oh yeah, I know that message is confusing, right? That's fine. We'll be going in different places in Medina. We will be. Come on, bro. I'm running the program. Don't you worry, man. Don't you worry. And appointments, we will need appointments. I don't even know whether we'll be able to get into Rawda, but our group will have the best chance. Our group, because we're going to Medina first. Yes, and visas that are rejected do get a chance to do it again. It will come back, and then you get the chance again. And Naveen and Babar, I'm going to post the dua video right now, okay? And dua apps, you'll see in its right time. Don't need to worry about it now, but Life by Allah, dua and dhikr, great. My dua is great if you're into apps, okay, folks? But I will mention some of these anyway, and the video recording is coming up. The video recording is coming up. The old video about dua is coming up. Barakallahu fikum wa jazakumullahu kulla khair. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. And I was saying professional. I wasn't talking about that. This is what I meant by professional. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka allahumma wa atubu ilaik. Watch this screen. Oh yes.